The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, that's exactly what we're covering on the day. We had a lot of action this week in particular. Friday ended a little bit redder than we wanted. Now, we're going to be covering exactly where we're at. Now, I'm using TradingView today just because futures rolled over on Transpire. They just haven't adjusted it quite yet, so just going to be using TradingView. The data is going to be a little bit delayed as well in here. But yeah, so we'll cover this. So first few things is, again, you're still looking at that overall June 16th high. That's what you're watching for, right? This area right here around. Now again, it was 44.95 adjusted. It's a 45.44 roughly, give or take. Okay, that's that level. Now we come back in here. You can see the things we're looking at now is potentially now making lower highs. That's the bad case here. Now, the problem with the thesis of becoming a bear is that you're finding support here. Again, we've seen this game being played from buyers and sellers, and we've seen buyers continue to dominate, have a lot of strength pushing us up, and sellers not really doing much. For instance, we really take a look back out on how this year has progressed. Monster basically upside since essentially January, pushing us up. We get a few days of selling, and then everyone goes crazy. Like, bears are winning, they're pushing us down. And it's really crazy. Like, people want the market to like collapse. I don't really know. Maybe you just missed your opportunity. I don't know. But now you're kind of back here, and so this is where we're at. And so just when we look at this in the grand scheme, I'm just like, you're like, oh, we're so bearish. I'm just like, fundamentally, I can understand why you might think that. Technically speaking, I don't see it. So that's right here. This is ES. We go into Nasdaq. We look here real quick in Q. Pull that up. As you can see, same level. It's locally 15.68. It was previously 15.5 roughly. You can see we never mounted above this. And so again, this is that same level, right? This is all you're looking at. It's the same level over and over and over again. You can feel as good as you want about fundamentals. You can look as good as you want about certain data that comes out, or a pause being in, or this or that. But at the end of the day, what you have to get is confirmation, in my opinion, for holding trades overnight. And as of right now, we have no confirmation. You continue to push at these levels, and you're getting rejected. This is the daily time frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections roughly here. So it's not looking great. So I'm going to give you an opinion going into Wednesday next week, which is the Fed meeting. And overall, the biggest, I have to assume the Fed meeting will give you a direction from here. I have to have that assumption, because we've gotten 2 months worth of data. We've gotten all this information on inflation. It's up to the Fed now. But before we get into that, I ask you to do 2 things. Consider liking and subscribing. It helps out tons, and I appreciate all the love and support from you guys. You are some of the best subscribers. Love it. Appreciate it. Right? Also, too, the Discord link is down below, but I want to tell you guys right now, the newsletter every single Sunday is released for you. It's basically a watch list. That's what to expect over the course of the week. Indexes, futures, everything here. SPY, what to expect, data, earnings, etc. Our favorite stocks, what we're looking at, how to trade them, in detail. So again, it's all there, absolutely free. The link's down below at our website. Just go to the newsletter and you'll hopefully get your answer. So again, what are we looking at here? What do we want to see happen, right? Bull case. I keep saying the same thing. You got to get that mountain June 16th highs. You can't get it yet. We haven't seen it on the daily happen. You haven't seen it happen. Okay, that's what you got to see happen. Until then, you're in this area of indecision. Now, the problem with the short side for me, now if the Fed comes out and they raise rates and they are very hawkish, then there's a lot of issues there, obvious. But it just doesn't seem like they're going to be there yet. And I've given my opinion on this a few times, but I have to say, if the number one thing that's taking inflation up right now, over like 60% of the reason why CPI numbers are higher than they were, or the reason for the rise on all those rising inflation numbers, is because of energy, a rate hike won't affect them. So it's a catch-22 when you look at the Fed and what they're going to do. I'm not going to pretend like I have the direct answer, or I know what they're going to do. But what I continue to say is, if you're trying to trade, you're trying to swing, you're trying to do whatever, you're in a very good position, because we have clear defined areas, right? Now, to the downside, I think it's a little bit less defined, because if we do make a lower low here, then awesome. You have a clear short opportunity. You start making a lower low. That's a lot of range to go. When you look at the 4-hour time frame, you look here and you're pretty illiquid. Even here, when you started breaking back below here, you should have started falling instantly. You didn't really fall quick. This is your best selling day that you've had. And this is probably the only day that I think sellers should really be taking credit for with this movement. You can also go and look, and we'll go really quick into looking at the volume here. on the day, around 74 million. You have around 50 minutes left in the trading day. It'll be the highest trading volume day of the week. Again, that is a good note if you're interested in the downside opportunity here. But again, I think waiting to the Fed meeting is going to be very key, very, very important as well. Now, going into SPY, and something I do want to talk about here, because I think SPY is going to give you a little bit of answers as well. That 444 level, if you've been following us on Twitter or anything along those lines, you know 444 is very big. And so if you don't want to follow indexes ES, 444 has been a big line in the sand. So I will say you look pretty decent over 444, but as you get back below it, you basically have no support until 437. So again, as you get back here, it's a major cause for concern, and I'd be looking for that downside slippage. QQQ, almost the same thing. You go back and you look at these levels back below 373, and you instantly drop $3. Very bad news. I mean, your support doesn't even get interesting until 366, possibly 362, 361 down here. So again, you can see you're slipping back into these illiquid areas, and it doesn't look quite that good there. Now, on all the good notes that I mentioned yesterday, right? So a name like Tesla, you did move good. You gapped up today to 279 basically. Could have made money, whatever. And then you kind of pushed down and chopped for the rest of the day. But we look at some of these other names, like Amazon was holding very well and slipped off the cliff. It's back below 143, 142.5. Not a good look, right? Microsoft, right? All that room had held above 330, and now you're back down at 330 flat. If you hold this, you look really good. But again, you get back below 330, I think you're looking for downside at 322. It's all the same levels where we're just repeating the same cycle. Until we get clear confirmation to the up or to the downside, you're just trading the range. That's why you're going to continue to hear me say the same levels over and over and over. So again, we look at Meta, 304, 298. That's been our bread and butter. So again, you got back below 304. Guess what? You're pushing right back down to 298. It's the same levels. If you want to see more information on these and stocks that I'm liking, how I'm trading these, I post all of them on my Twitter. Again, today was kind of slow. I just didn't want to trade based on this action. It was really weird, but all my charts are here literally all day long, right? If it's not me goofing off, it's me trying to give you charts nonstop all day long. So again, you break back below, clear rejection, you're pushing back down. I'm not making these levels up. They're all there for you. We mentioned them all week. NVIDIA, what happens here? We talked about 450 yesterday. Well, guess what? You lose 450 today, and guess what? You push right down into 440, which should have happened earlier in the week. But again, it was that sign of why aren't we slipping down? Why aren't sellers stepping in? And today, like I said, is like the first day when we look at the market that we actually see sellers taking a little bit of advantage of the opportunity that they have. And we start to see volume uptick from sellers as well. But again, let's be very crystal clear. You got to get back above some of these levels. You have to, especially on NQ. This is all you're watching. If NQ holds below local lows from September 7th, you look pretty bad back into downside of 15,000 flat, most likely. Going to tell you that right now. Get back over June 16th highs, you look really good. Simple as that. Below September 7th lows, really bad. In between September 7th lows and the local highs from June 16th, chop. Bad trading action. Now, for anyone that's continuing to say, oh, this is great trading action, this is, where I'm making all my money, yada, yada, yada. Again, I would ask you, what drugs of choice do you prefer? Because you've been clearly chopping in a range of 15,375 to around 15.7, so around a 400-point range, even without the future rollover, back and forth. That's around 2% on Nasdaq, not even. It's not even 2%. So give or take 2% on Nasdaq, you've been chopping since August 30th. Let that sink into your brain. For instance, we go back to the past of basically, we'll just say since the breakout happened right here, May through July 18th. Okay. So for a month and a half or 2 months, we'll say 2 months, give or take, you push up from 13.6 into highs of 16.2. That's great movement. This volatility here, that's great movement. Y'all remember how we were trading that and making money off that. So the biggest thing I can say here, and some people hate when I say this, but it's patience when you get into areas of chop like this, because areas like this are designed to lose you your money. 100%. And you're going to notice people posting a lot of losses during this time if they're transparent and if they're honest. And so that's what I continue to say. Now, for myself, the only trades that I've really held over time was and has been the Tesla 2025, which I've been very transparent about. Everything else is quick day trades in and out. And I document everything inside Discord, and if people ever think I'm lying, then again, always I recommend you guys call me out. So today, the only trade that was even mentioned today inside of Discord, what were we looking at? We talked about Tesla, which was mentioned from yesterday. As we mentioned back here, we said right here, we're going to start trimming positions once they get into previous highs just to be safe, but manage your risk on concept for next Friday, over 50% up right now. And then, of course, this morning what happened, you push into that range and you drop back down. Now here today, Netflix, the only other trade mentioned on the day, right? You break below, hold below 402, you're looking for downside. You broke down, I think we got to like 395, maybe even lower, but that's the only trade on the day. I'm not taking a lot of trades. Very slow, very easy. I'm not trying to do anything crazy, right? That's the point of this, right? These are times when you try to survive. You try to stay afloat. You try to make just a little bit of money. This isn't where you're going to get rich. This isn't going to make or break you. Well, it can break you, but it's not going to make you. Understand that. These are people in Discord, again, transparently showing what they're looking at, how they traded, what they got from Discord. So again, that's my viewpoint. That's how I'm trading. If you have questions, comment down below. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one. Educational video coming out tomorrow on the second channel as well. Love you guys.